evening all, welcome back to Dust Series 4, is it? I've lost track. Hope you enjoyed that intro. We are going to continue these kind of funny little montagey intros. That was basically my 80s ROM COM, 80s New York, you know, style terrible thing. Think Friends mixed with, you know, Darling Buds of May. If you don't know what that is, then you've missed out. Anyway. It's where Catherine Zeta-Jones started. Anyway, I won't. You can Google it. You'll see what she looked like before she met Michael Douglas. Seriously, bro. Anyway, let's talk some Dust. Now, interesting stuff, I guess, is going on. E-Vegas has happened. I don't know any outputs from that other than there was a bit of a, I think it was an interview given to some form of journalism source about Dust and Legion, etc. And I think they're still pretty much saying that Legion is not a confirmed entity, as we all know. Yeah, it's basically just confirming what we already know anyway. So, you know, nothing particularly interesting to report there. But it is good to know that there is obviously these conversations happening. It's pretty awesome. And I think, as you can see, my new suit is running an absolute treat. I love this suit. I want to literally marry this suit. It is that good. I do die a lot still, but not as much. I think I guess because it doesn't have a cloak, that's probably its biggest Achilles heel, but you don't need it when you've got this kind of speed, etc. Now, I have fit out a brick tank one of these, only when certain maps need it, and it's got 1,000 hit points, repping at 20 hit points a second, so that's not bad, is it? It's relatively slow comparatively, but I think it's still 7.5 meters a second when sprinting, so it's good. It's interesting kind of seeing how a lot of these suits are developing just generally, because I think I've got so used to running Scout that now I'm running this suit. It does feel very similar, but it obviously sometimes I do think to myself, right, cloak up, oh, hang on, doesn't work because I don't have it. And I think that's something I'm still getting a little bit used to. But I've got to admit, this game is feeling great at the moment. I know I kind of, I'm very hot and cold about the game at times, but I think, you know, the reality is the core mechanics have always been brilliant, and it's very fun. And some of these matches, this is a great example. Look at this match right here now. So what would you say is the likelihood of us winning this one? Well, we do. I'm gonna spoil it for you. But or maybe we don't. Maybe I'm trolling you. Or maybe we do. We do. We win it. And that's the fun part of the game, I guess, is that you can pull back these kind of matches. We were dominated, or rather being dominated. We couldn't even get a single spawn pad down. It was pretty tragic. But we then just decided to, you know, kind of just, I don't know, as Bob would once say, tighten our shot group. Yeah, that's what Bob used to be like, seriously. Anyway, so that's why we had to destroy them. But anyway, I think this becomes a bit kind of interesting when you realise you still can have this ability to pull a match back like this. I mean, there's not many games where that's possible. If I think of the other games that we play, the reality is that unless you get a good start, you're not really going to recover. Whereas this game gives you that ability, so it's a good thing. Yeah, it's good. Loving the mass driver. Look at that, just wiping out scouts. If you come at me with a scout brosef, I'm going to destroy you, and I love that. I think that's got to be one of the fun parts. But look at that, still took massive damage. It is quite incredible the damage output some of these guns have. It is amazing. But it's an interesting kind of time in the game because you know, I honestly do feel there is a rejuvenation going on. I would say absolutely there is, as I killed myself, lol. Good old Flaylock. I think there is a real rejuvenation of the game, and I think if you're not playing, then consider it, because I think there is just an amazing amount of fun to be had. Some of the matches are getting a little one-sided again. I've got to admit, it was strange for a while. The matches are very balanced, and then all of a sudden it just felt like the matches suddenly became less so. I don't know why. It could be maybe the types of gangs that we're playing. I don't know. When it just used to be like Delboy, Tesfa, me, and, you know, Gaz or Stefan or whatever, you know, 3 or 4 people, you didn't seem to get these kind of stomps. Whereas now it does feel like when you've got a full squad, like I think we're running a full squad here, I think. Oh, look, a scout. Run away. I'm still going to die. I just know I am, yep. Oh, flipping scouts. That's what happens when you don't reload your mass driver, but there we go. I think there is still the tendency towards stomps every so often. So, you know, post in the comments, tell me if you've had the stomp fever still. It did feel that the matches were very balanced for a while, but maybe something's changed. I don't know. One of the things they said as well is queue syncing is now impossible, or next to impossible. Well, I can report we've done it a few times last few nights, and every single time has worked to queue sync. So what's that about? I mean, I don't know why all of a sudden that's working. So yeah, in fact, it's working really, really well. To the point where you're guaranteed pretty much to get on the same side as well. So again, post in the comments, do you Q-sync, or do you know people who Q-sync? When I say we're Q-syncing, it's only because we've got like 7 or 8 people online and the gang only supports 6, so we just run a 6 and a 2. I don't mean we're kind of going in deliberately to stomp. And there were times when pretty much we were on the opposing teams as well, which was interesting to see the gang start to fracture a little bit as certain players killed certain players. It's pretty funny. But I think this has got to be the fun part of the game. I think it's this ability to still have a very much kind of free roaming, free running, I guess, run and gun game. And I still think it's one of the best out there. I mean, it really does kind of smack of Unreal Tournament, etc. So, you know, it's up to you. You know, have a consideration. I think you'll have a good time, brah, if you play it. I mean, I've got to admit, lately I've got to be a little bit careful what I say, because I think I'm quite keen to kind of keep Legion alive. I do want to play Legion. I think Legion is going to be amazing fun, and I really do want to see it happen. But the problem I think at the moment is just getting it to the point where, you know, it just feels like there's still hesitation from CCP to even develop this game. I mean, they're putting a lot of effort into it, a lot of resources into it, but there's still that kind of hesitation to say if they're really going to do it or not. It could be because they've been burnt. I think the reality is that, you know, Dust burnt CCP a little bit. It didn't do maybe as well as they wanted it to. But again, this comes from the simple fact that if you don't market a game, you're never going to get a game out there. And if they want to take on Battlefield 3 and, you know, Call of Duty and all that, they had, or 4 rather, they had to then pretty much approach it in the same style that they do. So you almost need to mock them with your marketing. It's like, yeah, okay, you've got like, you know, M109s, and you've got, you know, attack helicopters. We've got Thale sniper rifles and, you know, space age suits and dropships. MF, let's, you know, come at us. It should have been like that. I could have done real wonders there, I think, if they'd have commissioned me, let's say, to do some form of funny, trolly kind of, oh, that's nice, bro, you got a ghillie suit, have you? We've got a cloak, motherfucker. That could have been quite enjoyable. But anyway, that's just a missed opportunity. I think with Legion, it could be interesting to see that. I think it is amazing how few people kind of maybe are, I guess, that... I don't know, I don't want to say that excited over it, because I think a Legion still represents the death of the PS3 console side of this game, and that is a big bugbear to a lot of people. And, you know, I kind of agree with that. I think there is something quite nice about playing a console over a PC game, I must admit. I think there is definitely much more enjoyment to be had, but I don't know. I mean, post in the comments, what do you honestly ultimately want to play it on? Because if you had a choice, an honest choice, PS4 or PC, or even Xbox One, you know, stupidly enough, would that be of interest? You know, what's your ideal platform? Because PC is fun. Things like Battlefield 4 and all that good stuff, they're pretty fun on PC. They make a lot of sense on PC, but I think also, I don't know, there's something quite nice about just vegging out. That's what I liked about Destiny, was this ability that you can sit on your sofa and play a game. You don't have to sit at a desk and play on a computer. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think also the other thing is EVE, to me, feels like it's going to be, you know, a product that they look to adopt Dust into, or Legion into. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just download the EVE client and it has, at one point, everything in there. Valkyrie, you know, they've already said they want to do this, but Valkyrie, EVE and Dust, all in one package. And then you'll have this ability, you know, like Star Citizen is trying to do, where you can say, right, I'm in my ship, I'm gonna attack this abandoned outpost, download into a suit. So you then get into a suit, you leave your ship, and then you do a boarding action on the station. Now, that is exactly what I would pay my money. I would just open my wallet and sprinkle money over CCP if they could do that, because that's exactly the kind of fun I would love to play. And that's the kind of fun I think a lot of people would just literally love to do and see Dust migrate into. So, you know, you attack a planet, you can then drop your troops onto the planet, leave your ship in a kind of stasis in orbit, and deploy to the planet. I mean, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? And then you redeploy back at your ship, and then you have the ability to redeploy back. These are just sort of, you know, very kind of pie in the sky ideas, but they are just such lovely, lovely areas where the game maybe should go. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.